you got to understand that black Americans represent maybe the highest growth of Islam. They are converting to Islam in droves, but
Now, this is a very famous statement from him from what is known as the farewell sermon. This can be found in most of the hadith collections of Bukhari, Muslim, Ahmed, and various others. And they all record that he clearly said, all mankind is from Adam and Eve. And here he says an Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, nor does a non-Arab have superiority over an Arab. Also, a white has no superiority over black, nor the black has any superiority over a white, except by piety and good action, which
What did he say? You should follow your leader even if he
is an Ethiopian whose head looks like a raisin. Or black Ethiopian whose head looks like a raisin.
Now, obviously, this must be some horrible source that no Muslim trusts. What would be the source on that?
Bukhari and Muslim.
Sahih al-Bukhari, their most trusted collections?
The two Sahihin, it's found in both narrations.
Hold on, are you saying that in Islam's most trusted collections of ahadith, Muhammad calls black people raisin heads?
Right. Yeah.
But Sam, yes. I didn't read that in my copy. It doesn't say that in English, does it?
Okay, lastly, they present this hadith, which many of them present and misuse or falsely quote. They present it to us as if the Prophet just made an off-the-hand comment and just said, oh yeah, black people are raising heads, stop, point blank, he didn't say anything else.
You saying that in Islam's most trusted collections of ahadith, Muhammad calls black people raisin heads?
Right.
Why do you guys ignore what the hadith says? The hadith says, listen and obey. Listen and obey your chief, even if an Ethiopian whose head is like a raisin were made your chief. This is against racism. Remember, his audience was mostly Arab, and yet he's telling them, obey your leader, even if he's an Ethiopian, which would be from a different country. If he wanted to say black people, there is a word for black man in Arabic, you know. It's Rajul Aswad, but he said Ethiopian. So this, how are you applying this to all black people? Number one, all black people don't come from Ethiopia, you know that, right? They knew that black people were from different parts of Africa, you know that, right? So how are you guys equating Ethiopian with all black people? We don't all, our ancestry all does not come from Ethiopia. So this argument is totally bogus. Plus, he's saying obey that leader. He's not saying disregard that leader or rebel. He's saying obey the leader, even if he's Ethiopian. You see? And it said that this thing about raisin head, they said what it meant was it's the hair. You know, some Africans, we have you know, tightly little small curls, and it looks like little raisins. So they said this is what it's referring to. It's not derogatory. It's not equivalent to the word nigger that the Christian Europeans placed upon black people. So how you guys present this case like this is just totally bogus. Again, the hadith is clear. If you want to say it's black people, still it's against racism. He's still saying obey the leader. Obey the leader, even if he's an Ethiopian, or if you want to say even if it's a black man. But again, he's very specific. He says Ethiopian. But this could be applied to show that even if a black man becomes the leader, that the Muslims are to obey him. No racism. You obey him no matter what. It's clear. Very clear.
I was told there was no racism in Islam.
After his pilgrimage, Malcolm spent 3 weeks in Africa. On May 21st, 2 days after his 39th birthday, he returned to New York.
Malcolm, have your experiences with white-skinned Muslims in Africa and the Middle East made you feel that relations between Negroes and whites who are not Muslims is any more possible?
When I was on the pilgrimage, I had close contact with Muslims whose skin would in America be classified as white, and with Muslims who themselves would be classified as white in America. But these particular Muslims didn't call themselves white. They looked upon themselves as human beings, as part of the human family, and therefore they looked upon all other segments of the human family as part of that same family. Well, now, they had a different look or a different air or a different attitude than that which is reflected in the attitude of the man in America who calls himself white. So I said that if Islam had done that for them, perhaps if the white man in America would study Islam, perhaps it could do the same thing for him.
Malcolm, just to prepare the
No doors may be broken down, nothing plundered, nothing seized, no one abused. All behind closed doors are safe. All in Abu Sufyan's house are safe. All by the cover are safe.
At least he kept his word. I haven't forced the door.
He storms hearts, not walls. It's a permanent victory.
I dread going out.
We must appear and...
Were we so wrong?
The way we lived, yes. That was wrong. We were trapped in our own faults. Our gods were less than us.
Now there he is, making his entrance to the Kaaba.
In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. God gave this house to Abraham to be a sacred place. Worship no other gods but him, and cleanse his house.
Truth has come! Falsehood has fled away! أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله
so it was. Mohammed took no revenge and allowed none. He declared Mecca a holy place. No one may shed blood or cut down a tree or kill a living thing in Mecca. Soon all Arabia was converted, not only to the new worship, but to the new laws, manners, attitudes contained in Islam. The Prophet had lived to see his work done, but now he began to feel the nearness of death. One great act of his prophethood remained, the setting of its seal. He called the people to him, and he spoke for the last time his message of surrender to God and humanity to man. O mankind, listen well. I may not be with you much longer. The weak among you, feed them on what you eat, dress them as you are dressed. You will meet your God, and he will call you to account for your actions. Let those who are present warn those who are absent. You are all descended from Adam, and the best among you is he who most regards God. Think deeply about what I say. Let all your feuds be abolished. You must know that every Muslim is the brother of every other Muslim, and all Muslims are brothers one of another. Between Muslims there are no races and no tribes. Nor must you take anything from your brother except what is given freely. Do not oppress, and do not be oppressed. O my people, I am but a man. It may be that the angel of death will visit me soon, and death will overtake me. But I have left you a book, revealed by God, the Quran, which is light and guidance. Now he repeated to the people the final revelation of the Quran, the seal and termination. Not Muhammad's words, but God's word. This day I have perfected your religion for you, and completed my favor to you, and have chosen for you Islam as your religion. On June the 8th, 632, in his 63rd year, Muhammad died. Many of his followers could not believe the fact. How can such a man die? But Abu Bakr, the Prophet's friend, stood up in the mosque. If anyone worships Muhammad, let him know that Muhammad is dead. But he who worships God, let him know that God is alive and cannot die. They buried Muhammad beside his mosque in Medina. But the religion he preached found its place in the heart of man. It endured. It multiplied. Still to Mecca they come, mankind. The people of Islam dressed in their pilgrim white. All equal before God, all united in this place of prayer. Each individual soul joined in a community of worship. One God.